Yakubu saying a state, you'd have just put name there, my brother. So obviously, the controversy is brewing. Also, legal practitioners, as always, I don't want to say lawyers are the problem of this country. No, because I've had great experiences with lawyers. But sometimes I have to admit they create bigger confusion than the problems they are supposed to solve. There is something you've heard in the news. There's some constitutional confusion, some legal whatever. And then you call it lawyer. Sir, please. What does the Constitution say? The person answers by, well, you see, Sam, we don't really judge it directly. Just know that there's problem. Just know that you would have not even called that human being. And he will tell you what he thinks. You see, in breaking down the Constitution, there's the letter and the spirit. There's also the fire. Then you call another lawyer, he will say something directly opposite from the same Constitution. So lawyers have been telling us what they think. Some are for, others are against. There have been different interpretations, and every once in a while you can literally taste the politics in those interpretations. But while lawyers have been speaking, it is important to note that the parties claim that they are ready. The political parties are expected to hold their primaries this Saturday, the 2nd of August, as set by the revised timetable from INEC. A fresh row is brewing in the APC. The Tony Okocha-led faction says it is going ahead with primaries as scheduled, insisting there's no factional crisis. You should know that the party's national headquarters currently recognizes and works with Tony Okocha. Its spokesperson, Chibike Kenga, spoke to correspondent Soibi Oluwari. Let's hear from him.
There are processes for the primary and their own, and we will abide by the timelines from the Independent Electoral Commission. So our party has a constitution, and we must abide fully by the constitutional provisions as to how primaries are conducted before the general election is participated in as well. We were consulted yesterday in the stakeholders meeting. As we were taking through it, all the parts that were present, we were taking through the reason why the election that was fixed before was now adjusted. So they took us through and then gave us the most recent timetable, which we are willing to participate.
Ikenga says those claiming otherwise have already left the party.
Please, we have gone beyond that level. Can there be a party at the sub-base without the national? Please, did they attend the most recent National Executive Committee meeting? We have moved up. They were involved in anti-party against their presidential candidate, and then even their congressional candidate in 2023. They have been sacked, and the new Congress have been conducted and ushered in the present test under Chikone Okocha and a few of us. We are not going backwards, we are moving forward, please. And majority of them, they have all moved to ADC. What are they talking about? Their leader, they have all moved to ADC. Why are they deceiving themselves?
I don't think that anybody in this particular story heard what Yakubu said. It's possible he hadn't made a statement at the time. Well, the Emeka Beke-led faction of the APC disagrees. Its spokesperson, Darlington Woju, says any talk of APC primaries on Saturday is a joke. It's questioning RISEC's capacity to conduct elections under a state of emergency, and is also warning RISEC to avoid legal traps. That just might be what Yakubu was talking about. But let's hear from Woju.
There is no political organization or party that can claim to be ready to conduct their primaries this Saturday. That is a very big lie. June the 25th this year, that it is unable to conduct elections in Ghana Constituency 2 in Rivers State. And so if the INEC is unable to conduct elections in a fraction of a local government, how can the RISEC think it can go ahead conducting elections in the same state that is under a state of emergency? Research in Rivers State has started very dangerous circumstance. Now, who told the research in Rivers State that Tony Okocha is the legally recognized chairman of APC in Rivers State as to invite him to a stakeholders meeting? The issues of the leadership of APC in Rivers State is still lying before the Court of Appeal Port Harcourt Division. And those who the research invited are those that are on appeal against the judgment that we got on August the 12th, 2024.
Okay, so when my guest gets here, he's a legal practitioner, he would tell us specifically the provisions of the Electoral Act that mandates a minimum notice period. If 21 days is not enough, how many days are we looking at? What would it take to validate these elections if Mahmoud Yakubu says one particular state that he did not mention are playing with fire? But you and I can and should have this conversation. What do you make of the developments? 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. You can watch, listen, and engage as we gear up for elections coming on the 30th of August. The chairman of INEC has said that the Rivers State should calm down. Or a particular state. Yes, it's important. He didn't mention Rivers. A particular state should calm down. Else, there might be trouble. Ezekiel Isaiah on WhatsApp says, we all know the truth, but pretend as if all is well. How can election be conducted in less than a month? And the funny thing is, you will see a lawyer that will support this evil. How can primary take place? And when is the rally? Ezekiel is asking. All right, let's take those calls. Hello, good evening. Call back if you can. Good evening.
I meet you. All right.
Good evening. What's your name?
This day they're calling from your warfare.
All right, go ahead.
I am completely in line with your line of reasoning concerning this RISEC conducting election. For me...
Oh, my. All right, call back if you can. I'm not quite sure what happened, but please, you need to get to the point. Hello again, Sam. It's shameful and disheartening that people will be saying this move is good because of what they benefit, and they boldly talk without shame. Posterity and karma will surely visit them. Okay. It's a matter of time. All those supporting illegality and wrong will reap it. I come in peace. Erasmus from Rukboku says. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Evening. What's your name? All right, go ahead.
Thank you. Why we all use for executive and the councillors to be voted? What I mean by is running a democratic system of government at the local level. It will be good that it is done appropriately and done very well according to the law. If I am not mistaken, I am not a lawyer, but I know that the law provides that, in fact, from where we come from, we know that the election was conducted not too long, and that election was annulled by the Supreme Court because it does not meet up with the 90 days of notice. Having said that, it means that we would have learned, because it is said that if you don't know your history, you may not know your destiny. This current government who want to conduct this election would have learned from that interpretation of the law according to the Supreme Court and follow a timetable that is visible to us. This one that they are coming from the angle of adjusted, consequential adjusted, wanting to adjust and never wanted to adjust. All those adjustments, we don't need it. Give a 90 days of notice. Let everybody prepare. What is there now? Where are we running to? Why are we in a hurry? These are the questions that is begging answer, and I think that the research should do the appropriate thing. We want local government to be election to be held, but let it hold within a very democratic way according to the provisions of the Constitution, the Radio Council Progress.
All right, thank you very much, Radio Councillor. A break needs to happen now. After that, we come back to talking about these elections. Stay with us.
by a state electoral commission, which gives, in effect, 21 days notice, is not only a violation of the law and the subsisting judgment of the Supreme Court, it is also a practical problem. Within 21 days, how do you expect political parties to conduct primaries, nominate candidates, organize campaign, and for the Electoral Commission to conduct voter education, recruit and train adult staff, manage logistics, and organize security for the election? It's practically impossible to do that within 21 days.
All right, the words and voice of the INEC chairman saying that it is not possible, it is also unconstitutional for all the things he listed to happen within 21 days. And while he did not mention a state, at this time, the cap does fit Rivers State. What's your take on the whole situation? And my question, one of the many questions I also have for you is, do you think that INEC should take over local government elections in Nigeria? 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. Please turn off your radio as you call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Oracle.
Good evening, what's your name?
Yeah, my name is Chimadik. I'm talking to you from Mokuta.
Go ahead.
Mr. Oracle, first of all, let me answer your question. It will be very, very good if INEC can take over local government election in Nigeria.
Okay.
Because sometimes we in Nigeria, we are kind of being sure if a foreign body is conducting our elections. Since the introduction of this internal supervision or conduct of election of a state, we haven't been very, very okay, whether for or against. Now, I don't think we are contravening, because since the inception of this administrator, there was no announcement that was made that the date that was stipulated for this election was cancelled. There was no time. The issue is that the man that was supposed to conduct it was suspended or was sacked or any means, but the date was still remaining sacrosanct. And the new body that came, they asked him based on where he's starting from. And apart from that one, we have even far gone above the 90 days, even with the extension of the more days that he added. So I don't think we are contravening at all. And if anybody thinks that we are contravening, it's the person's right to go and seek redress in court. Nobody's going to stop him. After all, my brother Tonogocha did it here, and he stood it and he took his risk. If the court hadn't nullified it, he would have lost that. So, but now we are on this stage now. Anybody that doesn't want to do should go to court and stop worrying us.
Okay, Chima.
We're worried now, my brother now.
Yeah,
if
Chima. Hello, can you hear me, Chima?
I can hear you, my brother.
Are you telling me that you expect Rivers people, through the dissolution of the electoral body in Rivers State, to expect that the days were still counting, even when they did not know when a new body would have been constituted? They did not know when the elections will hold. Somehow we were just supposed to believe that as long as we wake up morning and night and we are breathing, the 90 days is counting. Is that what you're saying?
You know, Oracle, when you use the word believe is a doubt.
Okay.
I said no, I know. I knew that it was still counting. Let me give you, for instance, if an exam was to take place in an institution and the VC is being sacked, does it mean that a new VC comes that maybe the VC cannot start to see put a date that that's the same date that the election will?
No, that's not the example, Chima. If an exam is set and school was closed down, it's a difference. This is not VC being sacked. The entire commission.
There were workers there, remember?
No, now.
Workers are still there. Workers, government participants, what are they calling them? People say that they are still working. It wasn't closed down. Those appointed bodies were sacked. But there are still workers there, security, everybody, administrators, they are still there.
Chima, how many members of the committee were relieved of their positions?
The entire committee now.
So how exactly was the system running where all of the figureheads, all of the important players were not there?
There are civil servants there. So it's working now. Do you think without a political body that maybe appointed body that the civil servant cannot work?
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm asking questions. I'm not saying anything. I just want to understand.
No, it's working. We are still working on that day.
Okay.
You can't tell us, no, there's no new date. If he has put a new date, it would have been a different thing. Like that he extended.
Okay.
So we are still working.
All right, Chima, thank you very much. I move over to Eze Ken, who calls from Ubimini. Hello, Eze Ken. Good evening.
Good evening, SOC.
Good evening.
SOC, if I may ask, when will this state administration elapse?
There are two ways to answer that question. One, when peace has been restored in River State, or two, after the initial period of 6 months, whichever happens first.
SOC, if you ask me, I have the belief that this man is working according to the instruction given to him.
Yeah, you don't have to. That's not a conspiracy. Of course he is. The president sent him. He has to work according to the instruction of the president.
And I believe that his administration will elapse on the month of September, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
and he is targeting August. That is to say, he wants to fulfill every instruction given to him before he will leave this state. Then number two, SOC, you don't need to tell a blind man that there is no salt in the soup.
Mm-hmm.
But you can only tell him that there is no oil. The INEC boss, the overall boss of election in this country, had said it all. Or have they abolished their 90 days or 3 months constitutional, whatever thing, both in constitution and their political constitution or party constitution? That means 3 months is no more working. Number three, what have the Supreme Court told us before now that resulted to the dissolution of the former LGA elections? I pity this country.
Okay, Zeken. Well, I guess the biggest controversy now was the 90 days still counting after the dissolution of the Electoral Committee right here in River State? And the answer to that question will answer many more questions. I'll take one more call and then we'll get deeper into conversations. Lugaman from HA, good evening.
Yeah, Oracle, I socially greet you.
Good evening.
Yes, on the RISEC conducting election on 30th of this month, for me...
Next month?
Next month. For me, it's not a good one. I want to advise RISEC and the sole administrator. Please don't waste Rivers people's resources in the name of conducting election. Because one, the say of this sole administrator in the state is illegal. For me, it's illegal. Because one, my own party, APC, is not contesting this election. Because one, the foundation is faulty. I don't want us to spend our hard-earned resources just for, by the end of the day, the court will still dismiss it.
Look at man, but
so I don't want
Tony Okocha led APC claimed that they are ready for the election.
Tony Okocha led APC.
No, hold on. You're misplacing the words. Tony Okocha led APC claim. It's not Tony Okocha claim led.
Tony Okocha led APC.
Exactly.
But brother, is it by coming on air to say I'm the chairman of APC? Legally, who is the recognized chairman of APC? Legally. Are we not operating the law in this country again? Are we in a banana republic? The law said Emeka Beke remains the chairman. And up to today, Tony Okocha, no court have confirmed that judgment. So what are we saying here?
Okay.
Are we in a lawless society?
All right,
so that even though I know that I've already written results, I've already selected people.
Look, man, no, don't do that on my platform. What do you mean they have already written? No.
Right. We know.
No, it's not you know. I don't know who you know. We are waiting for elections. Look, man, please.
My brother,
Please.
Are we not in this state?
No, we are in the States. But please, do not spew on this hallowed platform what you cannot substantiate. All right. Well, time, not a luxury we can afford. I always say that when we don't have a lot of it. But my guest to join me, he is Barrister Innocent Ekwu. He's a legal practitioner. And there's a lot to unpack with the little time we have. Good day, Barrister Ekwu. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yes, indeed it is. Okay, straight to business, because the controversy is already brewing. What are the specific provisions in the Electoral Act that mandate a minimum notice period before local government elections?
Yes. The Electoral Act 2022 in section 150 provides for mandatory 90 days notice before the conduct of any election. Any election in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And then you know that under our Constitution, federal law supersedes any other law.
Indeed.
And any other law that is made either by state or local government that runs contrary to the federal or constitutional provision is, to the extent of that differential, invalid. Because the Constitution takes precedence over all other provisions of any other enactment in the country. Therefore, the news that RESEC issued a 21 days notice for the conduct of local government election in Rivers State is illegal, is unconstitutional, and it renders the entire exercise invalid and a nullity.
So the controversy now, which is what people have been talking about way before I started the show, is whether the time in question is the 21 days as stated by the new board or the time by the former one that was dissolved. A caller just before you came in said the 90 days had been counting. It was from the other one. And if we are even looking at that, it has exceeded 90 days. So I would have to, for this question, it's your opinion I'm asking, not the Constitution. Do you think...
No, I'm going to talk what the law says. I'm a legal practitioner. So not my opinion. But what the law says. So that both RESEC will learn the law and the government will learn the law. Now, the 90 days notice given by the previous RESEC that we are dissolved dies with it. Yes. Because they have been dissolved. All of them were dissolved. No one person was left. Therefore, that their notice also dies with it. Because if one person, at least one of that board was left, and then addition were made to complete the number.
It's concurrent.
Yes. But having dissolved all of them and disbanded them like a sort of illegality, you cannot, having disbanded them, begin to take some of their acts as valid, having considered them invalid. That is it. But besides, most importantly is that 90 days has expired. It expired or is expiring tomorrow. Because that election was supposed to hold on the 1st of August, which is tomorrow. So that 90 days is expended, and they did not hold the election within the 90 days. Therefore, issuing this new notice, it must be 90 days. And I would want to submit just 2 Supreme Court decisions that establishes that fact. Now, the first is that by Section 150 of the Electoral Act 2022, the notice of 90 days is mandatory. It's not optional. All institutions and authorities, government and agencies are bound to it. Then, this has been texted in court. The first Federal High Court that declared the last local government election illegal, one of the grounds for declaring it illegal was that the notice for the election was not up to the mandatory 90 days. Now, it is important to note that the Supreme Court judgment that nullified that said local government election specifically held that that election was a nullity because it did not comply with the 90 days mandatory notice. So that these two are naked before the Rivers public. But besides that, in the case of Ebabomen versus FMBN, 2002, 17 Nigerian Weekly Law Report, Part 797. The Supreme Court on whether mandatory statutory provision can be waived. The Supreme Court of Nigeria held that a mandatory provision directing a procedure to be followed in the performance of any public duty is not personal and cannot be waived by any authority. It is mandatory, cannot be waived, and must be complied with, and non-compliance render the process illegal, null and void, and a nullity. This is Supreme Court decision.
Okay.
Then there is a second decision, and that is in the case of NDP versus INEC. It's a 2012 decision. Citation is 14 Nigerian Weekly Law Report,
Okay.
Part 1319. The Court of Appeal held that the Electoral Act confers power to electoral bodies to publish the notice on election activity not later than 90 days. And that electoral body is limited to that number of days. It cannot waive it or alter it to less. This is the trite rule of law.
Okay. There's no question about the 90 days, right? That is undisputable.
Yes.
The controversy now will come from that board, because that's what I was arguing before you got here.
Yes.
And that was the source of many arguments before even today. The disbandment of all the members of that board, you say, invalidates their own 90 days.
Yes, their own 90 days already by itself is expired.
Yeah, it will expire maybe the day after tomorrow, because tomorrow is 31st,
Yes.
and 1st is
Yes.
the day after that.
Yes.
Now, somebody was saying that, but there were still some workers. There were civil servants.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, those were administrative workers.
Yes,
but
so
those were
do-
not
running-
what qualifies are the commission. It is the commission, not the administrative staff. The commission that put the 90 days. Now, the authority I read said that the board is limited. They have no power to alter or waive. That is the decision of the Supreme Court. Therefore, now that one have expired, and this new board decided to issue notice in order to comply, that notice cannot be less. It must be 90 days.
Now, this is backed by the Supreme Court ruling, not the
Yes.
Electoral Act.
Both Electoral Act in Section 150
Okay.
and Supreme Court judgment.
Okay. So we have to treat this board as a fresh board,
It's a fresh board.
starting from day one.
Yes, and they are exercising their power as a fresh board. They are not exercising the power of the previous board that have been dissolved.
So all that the authority should have done would have been to leave at least one member of that board.
Yes.
And then that would have left the other 90 days running.
Yes, they were ill-advised. They were not. They are not consulting experts. They don't want to pay money to consult people like us to do legal opinion for them.
Oh, my
They are
goodness.
just moving as politicians.
Okay. Barrister Ekwu, you have done with very little time what we were hoping would take more time. So let's get back to the listener. You've heard what the barrister said. I'm sure that gives new context to the conversation. My question was, should INEC take over local government elections in Nigeria? Now, judging by what he just said, citing exactly, directly rather, not exactly, from the Electoral Act and quoting a Supreme Court ruling and the position of the INEC chairman, what is your perspective to this conversation? We have just a little time, so you have to make the most of it. I'll give you just 60 seconds to share your thoughts. 08179230002, 08179230003. Please turn off your radio as you call. Hello, good evening. Hello.
My brother Sam.
Good evening. What's your name?
My name is Ayeba Gospower.
All right, go ahead, Gospar. You have a minute.
Sam, in a minute, I want to ask you just a simple question.
All right.
Is he aware that there are civil servants working in research?
Did you listen to the conversation when I asked the same question?
Okay. Sam, if a VC in a university is being sacked and they were about to write exams and a new VC is appointed, is he saying that the exams will not have effect or will not take place because a new VC has been appointed? Secondly, Sam, the 30 the notice of election that was given by the disbanded RISEC is not in effect because the RISEC has power to postpone election. And the INEC chairman was not referring to River State because, as far as I'm concerned, the timetable for River State is not 21 days.
All right, that's 60 seconds. Thank you very much. Would you like to respond to that very quickly before I move on?
Yes. I want him to know that the law regulating election and the law regulating Nigerian universities and educational institutions are not the same.
Indeed.
The law regulating election, we used to refer to it as sui generis. It's a law of its kind,
okay,
a law of its species. You cannot generalize it to other procedure. That law has provided that for any election to be conducted, you must give 90 days notice.
Okay, sir. We have to move on. Clinton from Bori, good evening. 60 seconds, please.
Yes, Samaraku. Quickly. The problem we have is interpretation. Everybody interprets the Constitution the way it suits him or her. In this case, RISEC is an institution, and a change in leadership of that institution does not invalidate an ongoing exercise. A date was announced by retired Justice Edley on March 5th. The election will be conducted on August 9th. All parties were served. Political parties are there to conduct elections. As a political party, it is your duty to go back home and put your house in order, and all political parties were served. And I believe that it's not RISEC that will go to the political party. It is them that will bring people to RISEC. I think that timeline will be given to them. Even from March 5th to August 30th, it's about 170 days. That's enough for political party to prepare. But I think that all this back and forth will not help us in this state.
All right.
It's the cost that's going to say otherwise, not any individual.
Thank you, Clinton.
Thank you very much.
That's exactly 1 minute. Maxwell from Woji, I've lost that call. Call back if you can. The March 5 notice provides well over 90 days. That's still Clinton, and I just took your call, so I'll skip that message. The situation in River State has become that of the animal called Nkiri in my place, where the trap holds the animal, and the animal will also hold the trap. We are watching. Sir Ken says, I believe if that election that was set aside by the Supreme Court favored the other group, that election wouldn't have been set aside. Maybe I can take one more call. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Okay, moving on to the next. Good evening.
Evening.
Evening, what's your name?
My name is Elechi C. Precious.
All right, Telechi, you're my final caller. Please go ahead.
I salute your guest in the studio.
All right.
Okay. The truth is that what I found out is that they are still on that process of the previous RISEC. When our former governor was there, when he was not suspended. So they decided to still move on with the process. Because if you remember, when the man was informing them what is on ground, the new RISEC chairman, he said the election has been shifted. He did not say fees or thereabouts. So they are still continuing with that process. The process is still running.
Okay.
That's what I found out.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, Barrister Ekwu, you can tell that this is the source of countless controversies. And at this point, if the state decides to go ahead with the elections, what would be our fate?
If the state goes ahead with the election, the entire exercise will be a nullity. The authority is the case of TAP Associate Company Limited versus Oyebola 2001 decision of the Court of Appeal, citation 3 NWLR Part 701, page 428. The Court of Appeal held that once a provision of the law is mandatory, it has to be observed stricto sensu, like a slave. You cannot bend or alter. It cannot be waived nor diminished from.
Okay. Barrister Ekwu,
So I will just call on RISEC to reconvene itself and issue a proper 90 days notice to free itself from crisis. Because indeed, if they go ahead, and the law takes its course, the entire process, the fate of the former will befall the entire process. And it will be a colossal wastage of resources.
Okay.
Yes.
You have so far quoted the Electoral Act and the Supreme Court ruling. Now, I would need your opinion for this particular question.
Yes.
Do you think that INEC, moving forward, should conduct local government elections in states?
Yes. I have earlier in several fora made a call that INEC, a federal body, need to conduct election. Because INEC used to conduct this election before, and several parties win. Some win 1, some win 2, some win 3, and that is the spirit of federalism and multi-party system.
Okay.
But when politicians push for states to conduct this election, you will find that they will just do their wish, their whims and caprices, and one party in power wins all. You can imagine that in Rivers State, 319 councillors, one party will win all, and no other party will even win one councillor.
Or is that the people have spoken?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard the expression, the voice of people is the voice of God. So God, by extension, has spoken as well.
No, but we know where they used to write this results.
Okay. If you insist. Well, thank you very much, Barr Ekwu, for your time.
Thank you.
We had very little time, but we made the most of it. I'm certain that in the future we'll have other opportunities to engage.
Yes.
Have yourself a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Well, this is where we wrap up this conversation. Coming up at 5, we go to Ghana. If you're in the mood to get international, do not go anywhere.